jury, and alternate present. Good morning. Mr. Baker is still under oath, and the people may continue with their cross-examination.
Friday, we were talking about the burner phones that you purchased in Victorville the day that you went to the wake at the Sementilli residence. Do you remember that?
I remember talking about that, yes.
And you said you didn't give Monica any of the burner phones at the wake, right?
No.
You do remember that, right?
I do remember that.
I'm sorry?
I do remember that.
Excuse me, Deputy, can you move the microphone closer to Mr. Baker? No? Thank you.
You knew that January 31st, Monica was going back to Toronto for the funeral and memorial services in Canada for Fabio, right?
I don't know the exact date, but I know she was going.
And that's the same time you went to Las Vegas, right?
I think so.
You don't remember?
I really don't.
Looking at People's 218, do you see the date, January 31st,
Yes.
2017?
I do.
8:30 at night, which is California time.
Okay.
It's a record for that ZTE telephone that we talked about last week that you bought for Monica. See right here where it says welcome to Canada?
I see it.
So if you didn't give her that burner phone, did she come to your apartment at some point in time and you gave it to her there? Or?
No, I really don't remember that because I thought it was later, much later than that. I didn't remember seeing her until February. I mean, besides the wake.
You didn't see her until February.
To my recollection, I don't remember. I really don't remember. I don't have all the dates. I don't remember these dates.
See this document here?
Mm-hmm. I believe you.
You also told the jury last week that you wanted the defendant to be happy. You wanted Monica to be happy, right?
I did.
And you felt that she was happiest when she was with you, right?
I felt that way.
And you told us last week because when she was with you, she could really enjoy herself and be who she was, her real self, right?
She could.
So that meant when she was not with you, she could not be her real self. Correct?
Sustained.
You told us last week that Monica was living two different lives and that every time she had any free time, she would call you and you would get together.
Call or text, correct.
And then the two of you would get together on her timeline, right?
Correct.
And when you were together, that's when you felt Monica could be herself and happiest.
I'll allow it.
Correct?
Yes.
I think you also testified last week that Monica would let you know when Fabio traveled, right?
Yes.
And that was when the two of you could spend even more time together, correct?
This is right, correct.
But she never stayed out overnight, never stayed during the night hours with you, right?
You mean like overnight, like all overnight?
Yes.
For the entire time, or while he was around?
Both.
Well, maybe once or twice.
So isn't it true that there are numerous occasions after the murder, starting as early as the beginning of February, where Monica would stay with you until 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock even in the morning before going home?
Well, could have been. I don't remember. Could have
Sounds
been.
like that could have been?
It could have been.
More than just once or twice, as you just told the jury?
Could have been.
She ever tell you that her daughters wanted her home more?
No.
She ever tell you that one of her daughters was having substantial issues regarding Fabio's murder and needed to seek therapy?
Objection, no foundation.
Overruled.
She mentioned that she was in counseling.
Who?
One of her daughters.
Okay. She tell you which?
I don't remember which one.
Did she tell you that one of her daughters was afraid to be in the house where her father was murdered by you?
She just said that they was in counseling. One of the daughters were in counseling. That's all I remember.
Do you remember her ever telling you that her daughter was afraid to be alone in the house because of what had happened there?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she couldn't spend hours during the night with you because she needed to be home where her daughters needed her after their father had been murdered in their home?
She mentioned it. She mentioned it once or twice that she had to leave because she had to check on the daughters.
She ever tell you that she couldn't spend hours and hours during the nighttime with you because her daughter was afraid to be home alone in the house?
Most of the time, she just left.
Most of the time she left?
Yeah.
So she didn't say anything about her daughter being afraid about being in the house?
That's an estimate.
It's overruled.
She might have mentioned it. I wasn't keeping track like that.
Didn't mean anything to you?
I wouldn't. Of course, it would mean something, but I just don't remember.
Well, obviously it didn't mean much, right? Because you had no problem murdering
Objection, that's argument.
the father
That's
of
argument.
the two girls, right?
I've already
Excuse
said
me.
I
It's
already said I
overruled.
did.
You didn't have any problem doing that. You didn't think of them at all, correct?
I already said I did it.
You did it?
I already did. I already said
That's a
I.
different question. My
did.
question is, did you think at all about the trauma that you would inflict for a lifetime on these two young girls and losing their father in their home in such a horrific manner? Did
No.
that ever cross your mind?
No, to make this easy for you, no.
Because you didn't really care about them, right?
I cared about him.
You cared a lot about them.
I cared about him.
You cared about them so much that you, again, took their father away from them in their home where they lived. The place that's supposed to be your sanctuary, right?
Can I answer now? I'm trying to answer. You keep going and going. I do care.
Objection, move to strike. Non-responsive.
Stricken.
Answer the question.
Ask again. Ask again one more time.
You cared so much about them that you destroyed their feeling of safety in their own home.
Well, I don't know how they felt, but I did care about them.
Didn't you tell your friends, like we saw in messages last week, that once the girls graduated school, the two of you were going to leave the country?
I never saw no text like that.
How about traveling once the girls finished school?
I never saw any text like that either.
You didn't? You didn't see that last week when I showed you Michael Spence and
I didn't
your
see anything
message
about-
to Run Ray?
I didn't see
Did you
anything.
already forget it from Friday? It's hard to keep lies straight when you tell so many of them, right?
Objection, argument.
Sustained.
Are you finding it difficult to keep your stories straight?
You're asking 4 questions at a time. When I try to answer, you cut me off.
Objection, non-responsive, move to strike.
Stricken.
Again,
One
are
more
you
time.
finding it hard to keep all of your stories straight?
That's argument.
Sustained.
How many different stories would you venture you've told since your first interview with Monica's lawyers? How many? Give us an estimate.
2,
Okay.
maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah, maybe 2, without thinking too hard.
One being the letter, right?
One being the letter.
How long would you say it took you to write that letter? I think it's 7 pages front and back, handwritten.
A day.
A full day.
A day.
So did you spend a lot of time thinking about what you were going to say in that letter?
I did.
And during the time that you spent that entire day writing this letter, did you think about all of the lies that you were telling Monica's lawyers?
I was thinking about what I'm writing in the letter.
The lies, right?
Whatever I was writing in the letter.
Well, you agreed last week that everything you wrote in the letter was a lie.
Not everything, but
Which part was true?
I got to look at the letter.
We'll do that.
All right.
Approximately how many lies would you say you told in that letter?
I don't know. I can't.
Your Honor, that's right.
It's overruled.
I haven't. I got to count.
Give me an estimate.
I don't have. I'm not giving an estimate because I don't know.
10?
I don't know.
50?
I don't know.
100?
That's argumentative, Your Honor.
It's overruled.
I don't know. I have to see the letter.
200?
I don't know. I have to see the letter.
How about 360?
I don't know. I have to see the letter.
You also testified last week that you and Monica went to Las Vegas before you murdered Fabio. When was that?
This is 8 to 10 years ago. I don't remember all these dates and times, and
It
I
was
don't.
8, not 10.
8, 10.
That
I
was
don't
your
remember.
testimony that
I
last
don't
week, right? You
remember
told this jury
when.
that you and Monica went to Vegas before the murder. So my question to you is, when? What month?
I'm going to guess May.
May.
I'm going to guess May.
Was that a time when Fabio was out of town?
No, it's going to have to be
Why would it have to be?
because it's usually the only time she could get away.
And where did the two of you stay when you went in May? That would have been 2016. Where did the two of you stay?
And one of the casinos, I don't remember the name exactly.
You don't remember.
I don't remember the name of the casino, so it was one of the casinos.
Who paid?
I believe it must have been her, but I'm not sure. I think it was her. I'm pretty sure it was her.
And what did the two of you do while you were there? Was it just the two of you?
Just the two of us.
Okay. And what did the two of you do?
Restaurant.
Such as what?
I don't remember. I don't remember, but it went to the restaurant.
Which restaurant?
I don't remember.
What else did you do besides going to a restaurant in May of 2016 before Fabio's murder?
I believed we gambled someplace.
Okay. Where was that?
At one of the casinos, whatever casino we were staying at. I just don't remember which one it was, but I remember because I don't know how to gamble, so I just kind of watched her.
And did you give her money to gamble with?
Yeah.
Where did that money come from?
From my revenues, wherever I got it from.
How much money do you think you had in your accounts at Chase back in 2016?
I don't know. I pulled most of it out. I don't keep money in banks if I can avoid it. pull
So
most
where
of
would
it
you
out.
keep it? Under your pillow?
No, no pillow.
If you didn't keep money in banks, why did you have numerous Chase accounts?
I said I didn't like keeping money in banks. I didn't say I didn't have them.
So you just had bank accounts just for the sake of having them?
Yeah, you need bank accounts to live sometimes.
But you didn't put money in them, so where would you keep your money?
Well, I did put money in them, but I would take it back out again eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
So
Keep
how
it.
much money do you think you had in all of your Chase accounts together back in 2016?
I have no idea.
Approximately.
I don't know.
$1,000?
That's the answer, Your Honor.
So ruled.
I don't know.
How about like $40?
Okay, I don't know.
You don't remember anything about how much money you had in your bank accounts?
I don't. I really don't. It's a long time ago.
Understood. But you told us last week about all of the details you remembered from the day of the murder, even though you couldn't remember the date. You remember that?
Correct.
So is that because you committed those details to memory as opposed to everything else?
No, it's pretty much a traumatic experience for everybody concerned. That's something I could remember.
I see. We'll talk about that as well.
Objection, Your Honor. That's fine.
I'm sorry. That'll be sustained.
You also said that you used the same phone with her, meaning Monica. Which phone was that?
The Samsung.
Which one? You had three.
The 6, I believe it was.
The S6. Is that what you're saying?
I believe it was the 6.
Okay. And what did you do with that phone?
It got lost.
It got lost.
It got lost.
And because it got lost, you got another one from Al Birdsong, right?
Wrong.
Okay, so explain to us.
I lost the phone. I got a new one.
Okay. So when did you get the phone from Al Birdsong?
Objection. Back front of evidence.
So ruled.
Way before I met her.
Before you met Monica.
Yeah.
Do you know what year the essay came out?
I guess 2016, 17.
Would it surprise you to know it would have been after the murder?
17. Okay.
So it wasn't way before you met Monica, because you told us you met Monica in 2015, and within a couple of weeks.
I think you're missing your facts here, because the 8 was not Al's phone. It was mine.
That you got from Al. We talked about that last week, remember?
No, I had got another phone from Al. It was not the 8.
Oh, I see.
You get your
Okay.
facts messed up again.
Okay. I'm the one with the facts messed up.
Objection, Your Honor. That's not a question.
It's argumentative. Sustained on that.
And when you said that the phone got lost, the S6, did it get lost the same way that your computer got lost?
Yes. You know, I don't know, because the 6 I thought I lost, but it might have got stolen, and the computer got stolen.
The computer was stolen.
Yeah,
Where was it stolen from?
from my truck.
And did you report that to the police?
No,
Why not?
there's no need to.
Do you remember in a conversation with Monica after your arrest where she asked you if you had gotten rid of your computer? Do you remember that conversation?
I don't.
Do you remember telling her that it was gone? Does that ring a bell?
No.
Do you remember her asking you if it was gone?
Oh, I don't. I really don't.
Do you remember telling her it was just a coincidence that it happened to break the day before, and so you got rid of it. Remember that?
No.
So, which would be the truth? The fact that your computer was stolen, or the fact that you made it gone by getting rid of it?
Objection is argument.
It's overruled.
Well, when it's in my truck and then it disappears, I guess that would be stolen if I don't know where it is.
But that's not the story you told Monica.
Now, what I tell her is something different.
Oh, I see. So you lied to her also?
On that occasion, yeah.
On numerous occasions.
I don't know about all that.
So when you said that you used the same phone with your conversations with Monica, what's the phone number?
The 272 number.
1093?
Correct.
Did you switch the SIM card between your Samsungs?
No. Mm-mm.
No.
No.
So how is it that you had two different phones with the same phone number?
I don't even think that's doable.
Okay. At any point in time, did you transfer your number to a different phone?
From the 6 to the 8.
Okay. How about from the S4 to the 8?
Yeah, I mean, that was before her time. Yeah, probably. I got a new phone.
So you didn't use the Samsung S4 with Monica?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
wrong?
I'm not sure. It's a long time ago. I don't remember.
The Samsung S4 was found, wasn't it?
I don't know.
You also told us that you were only at the Sementilli home once or twice. Do you remember that before the murder? That's what you told this jury last week.
I'm kind of tired, so I'm trying to keep up with you.
Well, today's a
I think
fresh
so.
day, right?
For you, not for me. I'm tired.
Okay.
So, I probably did.
Probably did what?
Said what you said for a couple of times to go to our house. 1 or 2 times.
Could it be more than that?
Might have been. Might have been.
So when you answered a question, and as you said, you are here testifying, so it would be an official statement.
Correct.
Right? It would be important that the answers that you give are accurate, right? Because you don't want to mislead these people, right?
Exactly.
So were you there only once or twice, or were you there numerous times?
You know what? Since you want accuracy, I can't give you an exact number anymore because I can't be accurate.
You have an estimate?
No, I can't because I need to be accurate because I don't want you to keep calling me a liar because I'm getting estimates.
Okay. Was one of the times that you were at the Sementilli house the day that Monica met with the company to install the new surveillance system on the house?
Was I there, you're asking me?
Yep.
I don't remember that. I really don't.
So you may have been?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
If I were to tell you that your phone connected to the Sementilli Wi-Fi that day, around 8 o'clock in the morning on June 28th, does that help you remember?
No.
I think you also told us that you and Monica went out to various places, bars, restaurants, and I think your words were you did everything together. Remember that last week?
I remember saying that.
Did you also take her to Los Angeles to meet some of your friends?
I'm sure I did. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm sure I did. Eventually, I introduced her to somebody.
Do you remember telling Ricardo and Sheila that you introduced her to some of your friends down in South LA and she really liked them?
I don't remember that.
Did you ever take her to any friends' birthday parties?
I don't remember if I did or not.
How about Roger Brown's?
His birthday party? I remember taking her to a El Presidente. I can't remember if it was his birthday party or not. It was some kind of get-together, but I can't remember if it was his birthday.
Do you remember taking Monica to Roger Brown's birthday party in 2016 and introducing her to him as Madonna?
It could have been. It could have been.
Do you remember having Roger take you to a Starbucks in the Glendale area and meeting up again with Monica, who once again you introduced as Madonna?
I can't remember because I've done a lot. I've been everywhere, so I can't remember.
You were everywhere.
I've been a lot of places.
Okay. And I think you actually told us last week, in terms of being a lot of places, that the night of the murder, after you were done with cleaning up, getting rid of clothing, changing around the rental car where it was parked, dumping the Porsche, going to work, and various other things, that you drove around the San Fernando Valley all night long to keep an eye out. Remember that?
I do.
Okay. And so how did driving around 260 square miles help you keep an eye out?
Staying on the move, that's all.
Staying on the move.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Because this crime has just been committed by me, so I'm staying on the move.
Okay, but you didn't know that anything would connect you to the crime. In fact, you told numerous people you didn't do it, and there was no evidence connecting you to the crime, even after your arrest, right?
Objection, that's not valid.
So ruled.
Which part do you want me to answer again?
All
Which
of
part?
it.
All right. So, yes, I tell people that I didn't do it because I didn't want to get turned in that night.
So again, more lies,
Of course.
including to friends.
Of course.
Okay. And what about the other part?
Which is
How would anybody know the night of the murder that you were the one that committed the crime?
Well, just in case they had a camp.
Speculation.
Yes, form sustained.
Why did you think it was necessary to be on the move?
Just in case they caught a camera on me or something. And, it's a guilty conscience. That's all. It's a guilty conscience kept me on the move.
Conscience.
Yes.
You know how to spell conscience?
No, not right now.
Irrelevant.
It's argumentative. Sustain on that ground.
You told this jury last week that you're very smart. Do you remember that?
Most of the time.
You also told the jury last week that you're a prize. Do you remember that?
I describe myself as that on a certain term, but no, I'm not.
You also told the jury last week that sometime in the middle of 2016, you had an abstract idea about killing Fabio Sementilli. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you said, well, what if it comes to that? Why in the middle of 2016 did you think, what if it comes to that, in terms of committing a murder?
The thought occurred to me when I spent time with Monica, that every time I was with her and he called her page, she panicked.
She panicked.
Yeah.
So when she panicked, did she go running straight home?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. What about the time when Fabio was out of town on business, and late at night he called to say good night to her, and after he called to say good night, she went running over to your house? Wouldn't that be the opposite?
Objection, Your Honor. No foundation is argumentative.
That has nothing to do with
Excuse
me.
me. So ruled.
That has nothing
It
to
has
do with me.
nothing to do with you.
No.
So after the murder, you went to stay, rather than driving around the San Fernando Valley all night and through the next day where you slept in your car, with someone named LaShane Holmes, right?
Yes.
So again, does that refresh your recollection that rather than driving around the valley to keep an eye out or to stay on the move, you actually went and stayed with your friend LaShane, right?
I don't think I went there that night. I don't think.
If I were to tell you that forensic evidence, meaning cell tower data, puts you there,
Okay.
and that was testified to in this trial, that you were there for a couple of nights, does that refresh your recollection?
Okay, yeah.
So when you told this jury that you stayed out driving around all night on the night of January 23rd, you were not truthful with them, correct? Because again, it's an official statement.
Well, I'm not 100% accurate on it, no.
So you're
But I
just-
was driving around all night.
Driving around, but you stayed at someone's house.
I just don't remember what day it was. I thought it was a Friday or something, or a Thursday or something.
Didn't you tell us last week you knew it was a Monday? That was the one thing you remembered?
I do. I remember it was a Monday when this thing happened.
So is it a Monday, or is it a Thursday, or is it a Friday? Which is it now?
Well, I guess I better start being really accurate. So,
You're testifying under oath, sir.
I know. I'm trying to. You keep asking me for estimates and everything else. I'm trying to answer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did drive around, and I drove around the valley I'm thinking most of the night. So,
Did you go stay at LaShane's home the next night too?
I don't know. I know I stayed there. I just don't know what night it was.
And it was after the murder, right?
Yes, yes.
And what was the purpose of going to stay with LaShane?
I felt kind of safe there
Why?
because it's out of San Fernando Valley.
Okay. So again, you didn't drive around for 2 nights sleeping in your car. You actually stayed at a place where you felt safe, right?
Overruled.
Yeah, I did. I drove around. I stayed there. One or two of those nights or whatever. I did go there.
Mm-hmm. And how do you know LaShane?
I did time with LaShane.
He's also a registered sex offender, right?
Yes.
Irrelevant.
Overruled.
Right?
Yes.
And you kept papers relating to your case as well as LaShane's case at a storage facility in Las Vegas, right?
I don't know about his, but I know I had mine over there.
Why would you also have LaShane's?
I kept.
Sustained.
Did you also have LaShane's paperwork from his sex case?
I don't know. I don't know if I did, but I had his property.
You had his property.
Some of it.
Oh, so you do remember that now.
I had some of his property, but I don't know about his case.
Now, you also testified last week that you had an extra phone that you threw away. Would that have been a burner phone?
An extra phone. You mean not my 1072 number or 1093 number? That
This
one?
was what you testified to. I have no idea.
Well, I want to be accurate because I want to make sure I get
You
every
said,
answer right.
I had a throwaway extra phone.
Okay, I did.
Would that be a burner phone?
Yes,
Under a number and a name and address that doesn't connect to you?
correct.
And that was at the time of the murder?
Correct.
How many phones did you have at the time of the murder?
Maybe, I don't know, no guessing. I can't be accurate on that.
At least 3?
I can't be accurate. I don't want you calling me a liar, so I can't really be accurate.
At least 4?
I can't be accurate on that.
What's
It's not
an
4.
estimate?
Not 4.
Okay.
Sure, not 4.
So 3 or under?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just don't want to. I want to give you an accurate answer though. But it's not that many. I didn't have that many.
Not as many as 3?
Not as many as 4.
So you remember in your head that detail? That
I know it
was
wasn't
3
that
or
many.
under?
Yeah, I know it wasn't that many.
Now, in the middle of 2016, when you said you started having a thought about killing Fabio Sementilli, did you send an ATM card to your best friend's son, Chris Austin, to purchase a plane ticket to come to LA?
I sent him an ATM card
And your PIN
and my PIN.
to purchase a flight to come to Los Angeles. Remember that?
I don't remember that. I sent him an ATM and a PIN number for him to use for whatever was going to be needed, whether he needed money or for anything.
Do you remember picking him up at the airport in July of 2016?
I don't remember.
Do you remember driving with him to Las Vegas?
I do remember that.
So, do you remember now, again, sending him your ATM card, talking to him about buying a flight from, at that point, Alaska to LAX, where you then picked him up?
I remember sending him an ATM card with a PIN number with the intent for him to use that card for any time it was needed.
So you're saying he just showed up at LAX and by coincidence you just happened to be there at the curb?
No. No.
There would have been a plan, right?
Well, if I picked him up, it would have been.
Okay. And you said you do remember that now.
I remember going to Vegas with him. That's what you asked me.
Okay.
Not that. I
So-
didn't remember.
He would have had to fly in, right?
Correct.
He didn't walk from Alaska, right?
It's argumentative.
He flew in from Alaska based on money you gave him, correct?
If he used the money for that, yes.
Isn't that what you intended?
I intended to have him have an ATM card.
You still friends with his father?
I haven't talked to his father in a while.
Would it be safe to say after ruining his son's life that that relationship is over?
Objection argumentative.
Sustained.
You're no longer friends with his father, correct?
I haven't talked to the man.
You said he was your best friend.
Yes.
And so, again, he was your best friend, and you used his son, who you told us was loyal to you, and who you trusted implicitly, to commit a murder. Right?
Yes.
So again, in July of 2016, did you have a conversation with Chris Austin asking him to fly into LA so the two of you could drive up to Las Vegas for a family meeting at Birdsong's?
I remember telling him that you should come down, that we should make sure I get this absolutely right. I remember telling him to come down. We need to talk about a couple of things.
Including going to Las Vegas to stay with Al, right?
I don't know if that was on the plan until later, or I don't remember that exactly, because I don't want you to hold me to that.
Okay.
I can't remember that.
Did the two of you go together in a rental car to Las Vegas
Yes.
to stay with Al Birdsong in July of 2016?
Yes.
And did you tell Chris Austin that you were going to meet up with Monica there because she was going to be there with her husband?
Yes.
And is it now coming back to you a little bit?
I'm with you. I remember these parts. I remember.
Okay. So the two of you went and stayed with Al Birdsong, correct?
Yes.
You had a family meeting. Yes?
We all met.
And did you refer to that as a family meeting? Yes or no?
I don't remember.
So you've never referred to your visits to Al Birdsong's house with Chris Austin as a family meeting? Is that what you're saying?
I don't remember calling him that, but we just met.
Okay. And how many days did you and Austin stay in Las Vegas with Al?
I have no idea.
1 day? More than 1 day?
I don't want to be called a liar again. I can't give you an exact count.
Okay. So you were there for some period of time? Yes?
Some period of time.
Okay. And while you were there in July, did you talk to Austin and Al about murdering Fabio Sementilli?
No,
You did not.
I didn't say I'm going to murder him.
Did you talk to them, about murdering Fabio Sementilli?
No,
Did you show Chris Austin a knife while you were there?
I did later.
While you were in Las Vegas?
Yep.
Okay. So, again, did you and Chris Austin and Al Birdsong have a conversation about killing Fabio Sementilli in which you showed him a knife?
Al was not included in that conversation.
Okay, so it was at Birdsong's, but Al wasn't included.
Correct.
Got it. Did you and Chris Austin have a conversation where you told him at Al Birdsong's house that you were planning on murdering Fabio Sementilli?
I said the thought was coming up.
So you did have such a conversation.
Not with Al.
Okay. And you showed Chris Austin this knife, correct?
Eventually.
Okay. Again, during this same trip, right?
I'm pretty sure.
And did you and Chris Austin go over to the Aria where you knew Monica was staying in order to introduce him to Monica?
I had no intention on letting him see Monica there.
Objection, move to strike, non-responsive.
Second.
Again, did you take Chris Austin to the Aria?
We went to the Aria.
Where you knew Monica was staying, right?
If that was the Aria, yeah.
Well, you knew where Monica was staying, right? She sent you,
Objection, yes.
There's no answer.
Yes.
she sent you an email, right?
I don't know about the email, but I knew.
She sent you an email with the travel arrangements for Las Vegas. Do you remember that?
I don't.
You don't.
I don't.
Showing you what's been marked previously as People's 216, the front page. Do you see the subject line here?
I do.
Do you recognize Monica's email address?
No, now I do.
That's the one you got emails from her often, right?
I wouldn't say often, but I did get emails from that email every now and again.
You knew that was Monica's email, right? You're not trying to tell the jury you didn't know her email address, are you?
I didn't say that.
Overruled.
I didn't say that.
So you do recognize this as her email address?
I just said I do.
Okay. See the date there? July 18th, 2016? A couple
Yes.
minutes before 7 p.m.?
I see it.
Whose email is this? Diane at Arball1.
It's one of my emails.
And do you see that this is an email that was forwarded from Fabio Sementilli to his wife?
Okay.
Do you see that?
That's what it says.
And below that, do you see the confirmation that Monica and Fabio were going to be staying at the Aria during this trip?
I see it.
At the Sky Suites. This was sent to you, right?
I don't remember seeing this, but okay. But I already knew I knew where they were going.
You don't remember this email?
I don't.
In your inbox?
This is almost 10 years ago. I don't remember all these details like this. You've been studying this for months. I haven't seen any of this.
But you were asking for it, so I'm showing you, right?
You're showing me.
Okay. And you see that it tells Monica and Fabio where they're staying at the Aria in the Sky Suites. You see that?
I see it.
And you see on the second page, there's even a map of where the events are to take place at the hotel. See that?
I see it.
And even a path has been written in by somebody by hand with an arrow as to a meeting place. Do you see that?
I see the arrow and I see something.
And this was the same time that you went with Chris Austin, right? To the Aria, right?
Yes.
In fact, you have charges on your Chase account for the Aria during that trip, right?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't
let's
remember.
look at Exhibit 185. You have an account, you had a checking account at JP Morgan Chase, correct?
Yes.
What's your middle name?
Lewis.
See here, July 25th, Enterprise Rent-A-Car from Canoga Park.
I see
that?
it.
See the date of the charge, July 22nd and 23rd?
I see it.
Okay. And do you see after that a charge on the 25th at the Chevron station in Primm, Nevada?
I see it.
That's on the way to Las Vegas from California, right?
It has to be.
You've made that trip numerous times, right?
Numerous times.
And then do you see just below it a purchase on the 25th at Smith's? It was made on the 24th, posted on the 25th at Smith's Food and Drug. You see that?
I do.
Do you see beneath that cash being removed from a non-ATM Chase on the 24th of July? Do you see that?
I do.
That ATM located at the Aria. You see that?
I do.
And then just beneath that, do you see a desert pit stop on July 27th in Las Vegas?
I do.
And then returning the Enterprise rental car at some point after the 26th, correct? So you had it for several days, right?
It appears so.
Does that refresh your recollection about you and, bless you, Chris Austin going to the Aria where you said you were not going to let him have any contact with Monica?
And that doesn't mean she has to have contact with him. That
Okay.
doesn't mean anything. But yeah, it was there.
So we had testimony about a week and a half ago from a geolocation expert who put you, Monica, and Chris Austin together at the Aria. Does that ring any bells to you?
And this states the evidence.
Overruled.
Absolutely not.
And just before you went to meet up with Monica, she called you to tell you where she was. Isn't that right?
I don't remember.
So if she called you just before the phone records show the three of you together at the Aria, you don't remember what that would have been about.
Monica, unless I don't know something I don't already know, they never met in the Aria.
Okay. But you did, right?
I
You met with her.
Yeah, I did.
Because while her husband was busy during the day, once again, she was free to meet with you, right?
Probably for like a minute or two,
A minute or two.
maybe.
How many of the days while you were in Las Vegas with Chris Austin and Al Birdsong did you meet up with Monica?
I really don't remember the exact times and how many times it was. I don't know how many times exactly it was.
So you and Chris Austin didn't meet up with Monica in order to set up a plan to kill Fabio.
No.
Why do you say that with such surety in your voice, since that's what you did shortly thereafter?
Sorry.
Sustained.
So did you meet up with Monica each of the days that she was in Las Vegas while she was on this trip with Fabio?
My memory only serves me that I remember seeing her twice, two separate days. That is all I can remember.
Okay. And not with Chris Austin.
Never with Chris Austin.
So if the phone records put the three of you together, he would have been close by but not with you?
Objection, that misstates the evidence.
Overruled.
If he was at a bar, because I remember going to meet Monica by some slot machines, and I told him to stay at the bar. I'll be back. And I wanted to talk to her quickly just to say hello, whatever. But she said she was doing her host thing, whatever she was doing.
So now you remember the details that actually Austin was with you at the Aria, but he was at a bar.
He was at the bar, someplace
In the
else.
Aria.
Yeah, wherever he was over there, away from her.
Okay. And she was at a slot machine.
No, she was at some lounge, and she met me by a slot machine.
Okay. Close to where Austin was.
And I don't think they saw each other, not at all. They couldn't have seen each other. It was a good distance.
Well, nevertheless, if they didn't see each other, when you came back after that trip with Austin from Las Vegas, you took him to LA Fitness, and he met Monica. You introduced them, right?
I introduced him to everybody. So if she was there,
right?
if she was there, he got introduced. If she was there.
And he played racquetball with Monica, right?
I don't remember.
Is that a possibility?
I don't remember.
Was he playing racquetball with various people at the gym that day?
I don't even remember him playing racquetball because he sucked at racquetball.
Okay. So were you playing racquetball that day at LA Fitness?
Most likely if I was there, but I hate to say I did and you said I didn't, so I don't remember either. But chances are I did if I was there.
And so what would Chris Austin do? Just sit there watching you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember that day going out for lunch with Austin and some of the other individuals from the racquetball group?
I don't remember.
Is that a possibility?
I just don't remember. Anything's possible.
And later that night, isn't it true that you took Chris Austin with you and went over to Monica's house?
Now that is possible. That is possible.
And the three of you had pizza together. Remember that?
I don't remember the pizza part.
So what would have been your purpose of taking Chris Austin over to the Sementilli home that night when she came back from Las Vegas while her husband was still there working?
I don't even know if he was working. I have no idea if he's working or not. If I saw her,
You remember doing that, don't you? You
vaguely.
were there for several hours. Remember that?
Vaguely. If I was there for several hours, that means he wasn't there.
Remember showing him around the house?
No, I don't.
You remember Monica showing him the patio area?
Could be. I don't.
You remember telling him that this is the area where Fabio always liked to hang out?
I don't remember saying that.
Do you remember leaving Chris to watch television in the living room while you and Monica went back into the bedroom to have sex? Does that ring a bell?
No, I don't remember that, but I'm sure something like that would happen.
Okay. So you don't remember, but you're sure it happened?
No, I said it probably would have happened. It's possible.
And in which case, if it was probable or possible, whichever word you use, that you and Chris Austin went to Monica's. So they clearly met, right?
I remember bringing him with me for some reason to go to the house, but it wasn't for that.
For
But I do-
what? To have dinner?
No, for you're saying to plan a murder. It had nothing to do with that.
Well, you already told us.
But it wasn't. That's what it was for.
You already told us that just before this, you were in Las Vegas with Chris Austin, where you talked to him about planning a murder and showed him a knife.
That wasn't the plan, though, to go there that day, if I remember right. It wasn't for that. I can't even remember why I went up there for, but it wasn't that. I can't remember what it was for.
But again, just prior to going to the Sementilli home with Austin, you had talked to him again, as you told us, in Las Vegas, same period of time here, last week in July of 2016, where you brought a knife with you to Las Vegas, picked him up at the airport, and discussed with him murdering Fabio Sementilli.
Objection, since facts not an evidence.
Overruled.
There was a lot of questions in that one statement, so,
Break it down. Go ahead.
well, I'm tired, so you gotta take it slow,
You told us you went to Las Vegas,
okay?
picked Austin up at the airport.
Yes.
Right? We finally got to that.
Yes,
Planned with him that he should come out so you guys could go to Vegas, right?
that was not the plan, but it was one of the plans that we did along the way.
Well,
The
it
plan.
wound up being the plan, right?
I'm trying to
Look
answer you.
here at this exhibit, right?
The plan was for me and him to get together to talk about stuff that was going on other than a murder.
Except you talked to him about a murder, meaning the murder.
Eventually, I brought it up to him.
That was the reason for having him come out, right? So you could discuss the murder and see whether or not he'd be on board.
Eventually, that would come to it.
That was the whole point, right? I mean, that's what you told the defense team, right? In one of your 2 interviews?
That was not the main reason,
Okay.
but it was a reason.
Okay. All right. So the 2 of you then drive to Las Vegas to stay with Al, right?
Yes.
And you show him the knife, right?
Okay.
Isn't that what you told us?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Where'd you buy that knife, by the way? The one you brought with you to Vegas to show
I
to
believe it was.
Austin.
I believe it was a Walmart.
And when you showed him the knife, he said what?
He didn't say anything.
He just listened.
Just listened,
You did all the talking.
for the most part.
And you told him in July of 2016, while you were in Las Vegas, as Monica and her husband were, that you were planning on killing Monica's husband. Right?
I said it may come to that.
Okay. Well, you had gone beyond may come to that. You already purchased a knife.
Yeah, but I'm not going
And
to do
now
anything.
you're talking to your potential co-conspirator
Yeah, but
about
I'm not
murder,
gonna-
right?
But I'm not going to do anything with all those charges on there. There was no way I was going to do anything in Vegas, not with all those cameras. There's
That
no
was
way.
my question, sir.
Okay. So it's,
It had gone
Go again.
beyond just a thought at this point. You had purchased a knife,
yeah, it's just to see what he's going to do, if he's going to back down.
okay? And so you show Chris Austin the knife, and he says nothing,
He's just listening.
okay? And so after you talk with him about the fact that you are planning to murder your girlfriend's husband,
Check this argument, it is mistakes here.
This question's not done yet.
the 2 of you then go to the Aria to meet with your girlfriend, right?
Overruled.
Right?
No, I do. He doesn't meet her because I don't want him to meet her.
Okay. But he comes with you, right?
He's in the car with me.
And you already told us he came in, or is that going to change now?
Has nothing changed.
We've had this argument on it.
So he goes in with you, yes?
Goes in Aria. Okay.
And where does he go?
He's all over the place.
I thought you said he was at a bar.
From the time you told me where I met her, he was at a bar, but he did move around.
Okay.
You expect him to be in the bar the whole time?
And then you and Monica meet up, right?
At some point.
Same time, while he's in the bar, you told us, or wandering around somewhere.
Well, he's supposed to have been at the bar. He could have been anywhere, but he wasn't with me. But he was supposed to have been at the bar.
But he's at the same location as you.
Yes.
And you have a conversation with Monica, right, while you're there. You told us 2 days, you recall at this point, right?
I had some type of communication with her.
Where you then told her, we're good. I got a guy to help me to be the lookout, right?
You're trying to feed this jury some crap. No.
Yeah, I'm feeding them
Yeah,
crap.
you are.
Okay? Didn't you have that conversation with her?
No.
Okay? So you just went there just to say hi,
Pretty much.
which you could have done by phone.
Could have, but I wanted to see her.
Okay. And then you go back again, as you said, another one of the days that you're there, right?
I'm sure I did.
Okay.
'Cause I remember
Bring
seeing her
Austin
the other
again?
day. No.
Left
Did
him
not.
home this day.
Say again?
You left him home at Al's that day.
I
Is that
don't know
what you're
where he
saying?
was. I don't know.
So he might have been with you.
I don't want to guess anymore. No more guessing.
Okay. All right, so you go to Vegas, you come back from Vegas, and then you talked about how you wanted to keep them separate, but then you bring Austin to LA Fitness, right?
Yes.
And Monica's there, right?
I don't remember that.
Okay. And then after LA Fitness, later that night, you take Austin and you bring him to the Sementilli home. Show him around, right?
I take him with me because I can't remember why I showed up that day. I don't remember why.
To show him the layout of the house,
No,
right?
it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was something else. I just can't remember what it was, though. I really can't.
And you're there at the house, the Sementilli home, and you and Monica show him around, right?
No.
Show him the fancy pad.
I don't even know if she showed him around. I don't even remember. I really don't remember that. I mean, being that she's always a nice person, she probably did. So I don't know.
She probably did.
I don't know. I don't remember that though. I don't remember that happening. I remember him sitting on the couch watching TV while I was talking to her about something else.
Okay. So at least you remember now the fact that he is watching TV in the living room area?
Yeah.
Yeah? Eating some pizza?
Say again?
Eating pizza?
I don't remember what he ate. I really don't remember.
And then at some point you said it's probable that you and Monica went into the bedroom to have sex.
We went to the bedroom. I don't know about the sex part.
Okay. Didn't you tell us just,
It's
10 minutes ago?
Possible.
You probably were.
Probably
Went to the
possible.
bedroom to have
I'm not
sex?
sure. I didn't keep a running record of it. I'm sorry. I really didn't.
And then you told the jury on direct exam that in August or September you thought about the murder again, right? After all this planning went on between you and Austin in Las Vegas, right?
I thought you were.
Overruled.
It crossed my mind. I don't remember if I talked to him about it, but it crossed my mind because I really wasn't pushing it really hard at that point. I was just kind of like feeling it out.
Well, it had more than crossed your mind because we talked about the fact that you had already purchased a knife. You had already showed it to Austin to see what his reaction was, you told the jury. You had already discussed who it was that you wanted to kill. And now you had taken him to the home, right? Where the victim lived, right? So it had gone way beyond just thinking about it. You were making plans, right?
But in September, I didn't push it any further. I left it alone. August, September, I really wasn't pushing it anymore. I wasn't really in the forefront anymore.
Really? Not at
Really.
all.
It
So
really
you were
wasn't-
thinking
it really
maybe you
wasn't.
don't need to.
It was going on and off.
Okay. On and off that you were thinking about killing Fabio. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Do you remember on direct exam saying that you think that you also introduced Chris to Monica at the gym? Do you remember testifying to that on direct exam?
My memory's short. No, if I said it, I thought it.
And then you said you really started to plan the murder around the holidays. Remember that?
I did.
And then you said that you went to Las Vegas again for Thanksgiving, correct?
Yes.
Stayed with Al?
Yes.
And you had conversations with Al about things just like you did in July of 2016 relating to what police would look for, right? You were pumping him for info.
Wasn't
If
pumping.
he committed a crime.
I wasn't
How to
pumping
get
for.
rid of evidence. Remember that?
I wasn't pumping him for info. I always listen. I always listen. We just talk. It's just talk. Me and him.
Talk about things like murder and how to get rid of evidence?
No.
Really?
No.
Did you ever ask him about how to scrub a DVR?
How to scrub? No. I don't even know what scrubbing means.
Do you remember him telling you that you're not smart enough to do that? It's better if you just take the whole DVR. Do you remember that conversation?
Objection assumes facts, not an evidence.
Overruled.
No,
Remember
I don't.
that?
I don't remember that conversation.
You don't remember Al saying it would be way too difficult for you to figure that out. You should just take the DVR.
No.
All right. One moment.
Didn't you have a conversation with Al Birdsong about how to destroy evidence?
No. I don't. Not about destroying evidence. No.
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 You didn't ask him about how to get rid of DNA.
No.
You didn't ask him about what type of chemicals or solutions would destroy DNA.
No.
You also told the jury last week that you needed someone to commit the crime for you so you could create an alibi. Do you remember that?
I do.
On the day of the murder, you went with Austin to commit the crime, right?
On the second time, yes.
The second time.
On the actual time I did that. The first time he was supposed to do it, he didn't.
Okay. The day you went to the Sementilli home for the second time after taking Austin there the first time during the summer of 2016. Do you have that date in your head?
No, I don't have the date in my head. I don't have the date. No.
Okay. Well, last week you told us that you went to the Sementilli home with Austin and you went through the elaborate story of the clothing and the rental. Do you remember all that?
That's argumentative.
Overruled.
The clothing and the rental. You mean this is on the murder itself, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Do you remember going
I lost
with
track of
Mr.
where you're going.
Austin to commit the crime at the Sementilli home?
In January. Is that the date we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just making sure. Okay.
How does going with Austin to the crime scene create an alibi?
That day had passed already.
So you weren't interested in creating an alibi anymore at this
Not on that day, no.
Okay.
Well, at that moment, no, because I had to do this myself. But I was still going to try to create an alibi later.
How does creating an alibi after the time of the crime create an alibi?
Yeah, it's a useless attempt, but I had to try.
You also told this jury that you knew that Austin would be completely loyal to you and that he was the one person you could depend on that would be. Correct?
Yes.
And also you said you knew that he would never talk to anybody or say anything about what had happened. Correct? That's why you picked him.
Yeah, I did.
Would you agree with me that Austin was somebody that looked up to you?
I agree.
Called you Unc for uncle?
I agree.
Had known you for decades?
Yes.
Was much younger than you?
Yes.
Had no criminal history?
Yes.
Knew that you would take care of him because you had told him that over and over and over. Right?
Correct.
He trusted you, just like you trusted him. Right?
Yes.
And you knew that Austin, because of his loyalty to you, would do whatever you asked him to do. Right?
For the most part.
Okay. Including murder. Right?
For the most, yes.
So it's not for the most part. It's to the farthest extreme one could think, right?
For the most part.
What's for the most part? What would he not do if he was willing to commit murder of somebody he didn't even
I'm
know?
sure there's something I could find if I talked to him, but yeah, that's another subject, right?
So he would do whatever you wanted him to do.
For the most part.
Okay. And so you took advantage of him, right?
To a degree.
To a degree? How
To
not?
a degree.
To what degree not?
To a degree. I did take advantage of him.
You told him you'd protect him, right?
Yes.
You told him you would take care of him, right?
Yes.
You used your relationship with his father to get him to be loyal to you and trust you, right?
I didn't use it. It just happened that way. I didn't use it.
It was just a coincidence.
No, I didn't use it. It's
You
just,
didn't use it.
It's just what you do with family.
Use them, take advantage of them.
No, it's not used. There's always there's a reason for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a reason for everything.
What was the reason why you decided to use and take advantage of Christopher Austin?
For
Because you knew he'd do whatever you asked.
true that. True.
True that, right?
True.
Your Honor, you didn't answer the original question if you could.
And then when you decided that you were, as you said, going to pull the trigger and murder Fabio, you had conversations with Austin about having him come back to Los Angeles, correct?
The conversation didn't happen. Yes and yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And he purchased a plane ticket in January 12th, to come to Los Angeles again, right? Fly out from Alaska.
I don't know the exact date, but whatever date it was.
Does it sound about right to you?
I'll take your word for it on this one.
Okay. And you had been having numerous conversations with him in the month of January, correct? Setting this up.
No.
You hadn't.
No.
How many times do you think you had conversations with Austin about the timing of when the murder was going to take place?
I kind of made it a point not to talk about this thing over the phone. So I don't think we talked about it over the phone.
So, did you fly up there then and have the conversation in person?
No.
So how then did the two of you arrange the time when he was going to come to Los Angeles, if not by phone?
I just told him to come to L.A.
Telepathy or how? If you didn't use the phone
No telepathy.
and you didn't go there,
No telepathy.
so
Didn't go there.
how did you tell him?
When he arrived.
How did you get him to come in January to commit the crime if you hadn't discussed it?
I hadn't discussed the crime. I discussed him coming through L.A., coming to L.A.
Okay. And he knew what he was coming to LA for, right?
Objection to back on that speculation.
So staying on the second ground.
You told him why he was coming to Los Angeles, correct?
I didn't tell him exactly what was going to happen. No, but he probably figured it out on his own.
On his own, because it was the subject of conversation that you had had with him while you were in Las Vegas, and he remembered it from several months past?
No, he probably figured out something was going to happen. He never know with me. I always have something going on.
Like a murder.
Yeah, well, for that particular case, he didn't know if that was going to happen for sure or not.
Would you agree that the two of you had some conversation prior to him purchasing his ticket on January 12th of 2017?
You mean some type of conversation at all?
Well, he had to have some...
No, I'm asking so I can understand your question.
There had to have been some conversation for him to purchase a ticket and fly to Los Angeles,
There
right?
was a communication.
No, I'm going to overrule that.
There was a communication for him to come to L.A.
And again, did you have conversation during that same time period that you were talking to Austin about coming to Los Angeles with Al Birdsong?
With Al, no. Absolutely
didn't?
not. Not with Al, no.
How about with Monica?
No.
No. So do you remember the dates between January 11th and January 13th where Austin purchased the ticket on the day in between January 12th?
I have no idea when he bought those tickets.
Showing you what's been marked previously as People's 243. Do you see on January 11th all of these communications back and forth between you and Monica, and then you and Austin? See that?
Yeah.
And then again, you and Monica, and you and Austin. See that?
Okay.
And then again, you and Monica. This is still just the 11th. See all these communications?
I do.
It's a lot of communications going back and forth between you and Monica at that time that Austin and you are talking, right?
We're always texting on Viber constantly.
Right.
That's nothing new.
This is January 11th, when it's been testified that there's a spike in communications between you and Austin, you and Monica, and you and Al.
Objection, that misstates the evidence.
To overrule.
See all this? January 11th. See all this?
I do.
And then you and Austin have a conversation.
And that does happen.
And text.
That does happen. You do.
In the middle of all the conversations that you're having throughout the same time period with Monica, right?
That's argumentative.
Overruled.
We can see it right here in the record, right? Starts in the morning, goes through the afternoon, and then into the evening hours, 10 o'clock at night, right?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. There's no calls to Austin in any of those time periods.
It's overruled.
You see this right here?
See it there.
Voice. That's called a call.
I'm talking about in the evening.
You see that?
I see it. But a lot of
It's
people,
an 8-minute phone call. See that?
that's what it says on the paper.
Let's talk about the next page. Again, Do you see the conversations continuing between you and Monica? Yes?
I see it.
And then, January 12th, again, another conversation between you and Austin, this time for 40 minutes. See that?
I do see that.
The 12th is the day I'm going to show you in a minute where he purchased his ticket to come to Los Angeles. And then, as soon as that conversation ends, again, more communications on the 12th between you and Monica. You see that? All day long once again on the 12th. You see that?
We text a lot. You said 15,000, you said. So that's nothing new.
Looking at the top of page 3. Again, communications. Now Monica's calling you from her house phone. 13-minute conversation. See that?
I see it.
And then you have a 14-minute conversation right after that with Austin. See that?
I do.
And then more communications on the 12th. See all that?
I do.
Between you and Monica. Yes?
Me and Monica talk all the time.
Yep. And then here, line 102, another conversation, 15 minutes.
Maybe he booked a flight and wanted to tell me. I don't know.
Uh-huh. And then another one. You see that?
I see it.
And then you go back, as soon as you hang up, you're back talking to Monica again. See that?
I talk to Monica all the time. This is nothing new.
And then Monica calls you again from the house phone during this same period of time. You see that?
I see it on the paper.
And then right after that, you have another conversation with Austin for 15 minutes. You see that?
I see it on the paper.
And here again, back to the Viber messages between you and Monica on the 12th. Again going on the entire day. You see that?
Do this every day. This is nothing new.
Well, what's new this day is that you're in the process of planning Austin to come in to help you with this murder of Monica's husband, right?
That's my intention.
Right? And here we are again on the 12th. Like I said, going back and forth between you and Monica, right? Into the late afternoon and evening of the 12th, right? Pretty much the entire day, right? See that?
That's what it says on the paper.
And then right beneath, line 162, you have a 17-minute conversation with Birdsong, right? And during that same conversation, you're still messaging with Monica, right? While you're still on the phone with Birdsong, right?
You're telling the story. I'm just listening to you.
You're not setting up the murder then, are you?
With them, no. With my head, yes.
Council, I'm going to interrupt at this time. Let's take our morning recess for 15 minutes. The admonition applies.